So I am doing another one of these in the series of Guess the Eyeshadow palette that I'm using. I have one video up previously, so I will link that down in the description box. But today you're going to be guessing based on the shades that I'm using in the eye look what eyeshadow palette I'm using. It is an older eyeshadow palette, so this is a great way for me to dip back into some older palettes, and I'm predominantly going to be choosing probably palettes that have a quite standout kind of color story, because I think then it's much easier to guess versus obviously I'm not going to use like a Natasha Denona nude palette. Guess the eyeshadow palette I'm wearing, like trick question, because that would be really hard. So anyways, I'm going to jump right into it. Leave your guesses below as I go, and the name of the palette that I'm using is going to be in the description box, but it's going to be a little bit further down so that you don't spoil yourself if you don't want to. So let's jump right into it. So I'm just priming with the Be Perfect eyeshadow primer for no particular reason, kind of just trying to get through it. I feel like it's starting to kind of really get a little old because I feel like it's thicker and thicker in consistency, which it already is kind of like a thicker kind of eyeshadow primer, but I just feel like it's really getting up there, so it's probably time very soon to retire it. So first I'm taking this kind of mustardy yellow. If you can guess right now already, you deserve an award, but there's no way. I'm just kidding. I did actually want to film with this palette last month, but I didn't end up having the time. But I thought this would be a great opportunity since I'm going to be just kind of filming a little talking video. I also need to plan the video of my 6-year anniversary on YouTube. So stay tuned for that in case you're interested in just some of my thoughts. So I'm just putting that right onto the inner lid, essentially. I'm just wiping off the brush, and I'm going to go in with this kind of lighter green shade right next to it. And just slowly kind of blending it into the yellow just a little bit. I need to stop slouching because then I'm constantly out of frame. And I'm just popping it again in the center of the lid, right in the crease. I'm not going to take it all the way down. And I'm so excited to be using this palette. I'm just going back in with a little bit more. I feel like it's sticking down just a tad. I'm gonna wipe off my brush and go back in with the yellow. I really hope I don't accidentally read one of these shades out loud, because then I'll have to just silence that part, but that would be really funny. I'm just so used to always saying what shade I'm using. Next I'm taking a dark kind of purple, and it's gonna go right onto the outer edge. And I'm not going to be really blending this up into the green. Obviously it's going to get very muddy, but I'm just going to overlap them just a tiny bit. And I'm just packing on a little bit more right here in the outer portion, and then wiping off the brush, I'm gonna slowly take it up a little bit into the green, just right here. They're just gonna touch a little bit, and I'm just gonna build this up. I feel like because I have the lashes on, I can't really see that great into that part of the lid, so just doing the same thing on this eye. Feels really weird to also be doing both of my eyes, and then just packing on a little bit more. This way I'm also just kind of slowly building it up, just to kind of ensure a little bit of control. So just blending it outwards, and I'm just gonna have to layer on. I feel like we lost a little bit of the depth out here. Taking a very small pencil brush, I'm going into a very dark brown that has basically a cooler tone to it. And I'm just popping it right mostly onto the outer portion of my lid to just deepen it up a little bit. But I'm trying to keep it pretty controlled here. And I'm gonna go back in with the shade that had the purple on it. Did I say shade? I'm going in with the brush that had the purple on it. don't know what I was thinking. And then underneath the lower lash line, actually there's like a beige shade. So I'm taking a clean brush with a little bit of a beige shade on here and just feathering out the edges of everything all the way around. And I'm gonna go back in with the purple brush that had the purple on it and just bring a little bit back out here. And out here, really want to make sure that these are relatively even, you know, as much as they can be. And then I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of the green. Just right here. And right here. Okay, onto the shimmer. There's honestly not really anything super exciting shimmer-wise in this palette, so I'm going to use the shade that I feel like is the most kind of special, and I'm going to use a tacky primer to just really help it pop. So I'm just gonna put that, I'm gonna do this one eye at a time, just so that it doesn't dry down by the time I get finished putting it on one eye. It's basically a very iridescent yellow shade. It's a little bit more on the powdery side versus like super sparkly, but it actually looks very nice and foiled over the tacky primer. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this eye. And thankfully there's not really any fallout, which is nice. So just going to tap on this eye. Look at that. It's still very pretty. Don't get me wrong, but I think I need to do something underneath my lower lash line. So I actually think I'm going to take the shimmer that's in here. And it's a yellow, very yellow, almost gold kind of shimmer, and I'm just gonna mist it. And I misted it with just some water, and I'm gonna take that underneath the lower lash line, just right underneath this portion, going in with another shimmer with the same brush right underneath here. I think I blended it a little too far there. It's a pretty like standard shimmer formula. Right, I think I like that. I think that's definitely interesting. Just going back in with a little bit more of the gold down here. I feel like I went over it a little too much with the shimmer. And here we are. Here is the finished look. Let me know in the comments below if you can guess which eyeshadow palette I used. And of course, like I said, it will be in the description box. But take your guesses. I really like how this look came out. I feel like this palette has a very beautiful color story that I think has so many opportunities for different kinds of looks. I do wish that the shimmers were maybe a little bit more exciting because the brand has definitely done better shimmers since then. But again, this color story is just chef's kiss. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this look. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.